Hey there, this is Ryan on episode 27 of No Code, No Problem. Today's episode is brought to you by Adalo. Adalo is a powerful no-code tool that you can use to build mobile and web apps in minutes. I featured Adalo on episode 2 before they were a sponsor, and I would recommend you check them out at adalo.com. Use the code NOCODE-NO-PROBLEM to get 20% off your first 6 months, or use the referral link in my description. So for today's episode, I am going to be covering one of the most infamous tools in the space, which is Bubble. Bubble is a leader in the space and actually was, I believe, the first to create a product with a lot of back-end functionality for makers compared to like the traditional Squarespace or Wix or all those. Bubble kind of pioneered back-end functionality for, drag and drop editors. So for those of you who don't know, Bubble enables anyone to design, develop, and host fully functional, powerful web applications. There's currently almost 400,000 builders using Bubble to build out their ideas, many of which you have probably used or seen, but didn't even realize it was built with Bubble. Looking into Bubble features, so this is, for those of you who don't know Bubble really, here are some features, but I'm also going to be covering some successful projects that you may have heard of or may not have heard of, and then also like my personal opinion on Bubble, my personal experiences. So looking into the features, design-wise, they have a drag-and-drop editor to build a fully customized app without knowing HTML or CSS. And you can create really stunning mobile-friendly web apps for your customers. One example of this is nocodenoproblem. Joe has built out an incredible design for his web app. So highly recommend NewCode as well, so check them out. But yeah, they were built with Bubble, if you didn't know. Functionality, Bubble allows you to create interactive multi-user web applications and SaaS products. So Bubble provides you with the tools necessary to build anything you can imagine, including products like Facebook, Airbnb, Twitter, and much more. I've seen people build clones of Facebook and Airbnb and Twitter, and they're fully functional just like the original products. So they built that out with no code using Bubble, which is pretty badass. So yeah, build out your logic and manage your database all with Bubble. Hosting-wise, Bubble handles hosting and deployment. There are no hard limits on the number of users, traffic, or data storage, which is really important. A lot of competitors, maybe not from a back-end perspective, but from just like a landing page or a front-end perspective, they'll limit some of those. So that's really awesome that they don't. So what has been built with Bubble? Most of us are aware of popular products in the no-code space, like NewCode, which is built with Bubble. But here's some successful projects that have utilized Bubble, and they're not in the no-code space. So like we're used to seeing like no-code tools and stuff like that being built with Bubble, but this is tools that are outside of the no-code space that were built with Bubble. So the first is Dividend Finance. They built their entire solar panel financing platform and CRM for installers with Bubble. And they went on to raise $365 million in venture funding. Another is Play-Doh. Play-Doh created its tracking systems and event-specific landing pages completely on Bubble, and they were in the Y Combinator class of 2016, and they raised $13 million as well. And so like these are just two out of the many examples that I can give you, and it proves that you can actually build venture scalable companies and sustainable companies, or if you just want to run solo. Like either way, Bubble is like the go-to for building web applications right now. And it's just incredible because that wasn't even conceivable maybe 10 years ago. So for those of you who were like, there's no way I can build out an actual product and like raise money without knowing how to code or having a technical co-founder, bullshit. You can do it with Bubble. So now I guess, what do I think of Bubble? Whenever I was coming into this space, the first product I ever heard of was Glide, and my second product was Bubble. And I'll tell you what, Bubble blew my freaking mind. Like whenever I went on, and they do a really great job of like whenever you're going on with the tutorials, the first couple tutorials, I think it makes your mind kind of go wild in terms of like, oh my God, like the possibilities of this are just endless. So like it was just mind-boggling to me, and there's just a few tutorials that they have you build. Like I know it has using like you could build like literally anything, and it's amazing. But yeah, I mean the first time I ever used it, I was mind blown. And so I think Bubble is really an amazing tool that allows people to build out their ideas, that even if they aren't technical. And so other personal experiences I have using Bubble. One was over Christmas. I was trying to build basically a flight aggregator tool where instead of like you putting in your like where you're coming from and where you're going and then dates, you just put where you're flying out of and the dates, and it finds you the cheapest places to fly to during that time. And it wasn't necessarily easy, the APIs and stuff that it took some learning, right? But at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't have been able to get as far as I did, or even where close to that, if I didn't have Bubble. You know what I'm saying? So Bubble, like, it's shaped no code. It's a pioneer of the space, and I think they have a truly amazing product. And if you haven't used it, I really recommend checking them out. And I really hope that all of you continue to build out your ideas using platforms like Bubble. So thanks everyone for listening, and I'll see you next time on No Code, No Problem.